How are you? How are you framing this makeup week in terms of these three games? Certainly, you guys are excited to play TCU finally, but just how are you kind of framing this for these guys with three games in a short amount of time?
Yeah, when we learned about the last week of the season, we still had the Texas home game to play. So we basically set it up with our players as a 4 game season, 4 games left in the regular season, lots to play for. And certainly we know we have an opportunity to compete for a championship in Kansas City next week. So um, that's the way we've set it up as a 4 game season. This is number 2 of the 4.
In terms of TCU, how have they changed since the first couple times you guys were able to do at least 1 day prep on them?
Yeah, that's a good question. It seems like we've already played them 2 or 3 times, as many times as we've kind of gotten to the game plan stage. I like their team. Like all of us, they've gone through some adversity this year, no doubt about it. But I think they're going to be a big player here down the stretch, and especially in Kansas City. Nimhard is one of the best players in our conference. Stat sheet proves it. The way he plays proves it. I think Miles is a lock for the all-freshman team. The way he's played as a freshman in Fort Worth has been real. You know, Samuel's been getting it done in our league for a long time. One of the best bigs in college basketball, and presents a lot of challenges for us on both sides of the floor. Then they've got some other really good players that are getting better as the season goes on. Literally, 4 or 5 guys that could pop up and have 20 on you because they've done it before. So I think they're a talented roster. Obviously have a lot of fight in them. A team that swept Oklahoma State this year. They're obviously good enough to beat anybody in the country on any given night.
Last one from me. Have you heard any updates on Jamarius Burden from Mike Neal, and is he able to go, or do you know a timetable as to when he might be able to help you all throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's probably just best described as kind of day by day. It's still that tendon in the bottom of his foot, and he's starting to put a little bit of pressure on it, but not to the point where he's practiced full speed yet. But sometimes these things just happen, like he just gives himself a chance every day. Eventually, if the pain tolerance gets to a point where he can kind of move around and be effective, then we could clear him immediately. He's staying in shape in terms of conditioning with Mike and John Riley, so the turnaround will be pretty quick. They tell us he can play, then we'll definitely play him in the next game.
We talked about that, 11 a.m. start time for the Texas game, but just sort of, this 3 game over the span of a week. How beneficial is that to you guys to, going into the Big 12 championship and then even the tournament time where you have some of those quicker turnarounds between games?
Yeah, it's always kind of a debate, do you want the rest and preparation time, or do you like the rhythm and the possible kind of momentum of playing? So we've been on both sides of it. I'm not sure if there's a right or wrong to it. It's kind of the approach you take. So, with us, we don't spend a lot of time controlling things, talking about things we can't control. We explain to the players we got a challenging schedule here, 4 games in 8 days. Now we got it down to 3 and 6. We're going to compete for a championship in Kansas City. We know we're going to have to win some back-to-backs. So, we're prepared for this.
Ryan King. Ryan, can you hear me, man? All right, let's go to Joe. I'll text Ryan. Joe Yeager, you ready?
Coach, earlier this, Carlos kind of touched on this earlier, but when you've had in years past, whenever you scout a team, then you get to play them, then you can adjust from that game. How different is it this season, where you adjust by scouting them over and over compared to having an old game to kind of look back on?
Yeah, it's definitely unique. This COVID season, lots of things have never taken place before. So, with TCU, we've been prepared to play them a couple times. And then obviously tomorrow's night's game will be the first time we played them. So a lot of the things that we had kind of in the first game plan with our thoughts and ideas and notes have stayed consistent. Certainly we've made a few adjustments, as I'm sure they have too, watching each other play lately.
All right, like Joe you.
Yeah, Coach, against Texas, Clarence got 14 minutes, and it looks like his numbers have been slowly creeping up this season. I was just wondering if you could talk about what his role is going to be for the remainder of the season as you see it.
Yeah, Clarence has been playing well, especially as of late. You know, opportunities come in different times. He really earned the right to get some more game time several weeks ago and took advantage of it. This was before, you know, JB went down with some adversity, so now he's getting an opportunity as well through that avenue, if that makes sense. And Clarence is a guy that, you know, always competes. He's one of our best defensive players. On offense, he's a shot maker, a great three-point shooter. He's doing a great job taking care of the ball. You know, I was just so impressed with the confidence he played with when he started getting, you know, kind of more regular minutes. So he's earned the right to play well in these moments. You know, he's been here 2 years. Last year he played a role on our NCAA tournament team last year. So, you know, we have a lot of confidence in Clarence. You know, I think he's going to play great down the stretch. He's earned the right to do so.
Any more questions out there? Yeah, I could. Ronald just came in with one.
Just sort of, you know, coming into this year, obviously we knew it was going to be sort of weird, but did you ever see or envision that this would be sort of the way that this, you know, regular season would end for you guys, having these 3 games? And, you know,
Yeah, possibly so. Remember they created the bye week early in the season. They made us play those 2 Big 12 games before Christmas. I think you got to give the league a lot of credit. You know, we'll see kind of how it plays off, but it appears to be a pretty good strategy. You know, what Kansas got to the full 18, and I think maybe Oklahoma might get there. We'll get to the 17, but it did give us a chance to play as many games as we want. Ultimately, that was the goal, right? If you had to just simplify the thing down to what's your deal, statement? If you had to simplify it down to a statement, you know, our objective was to play as many games as we can, right? For the league, for the players, for the fans. And I think this strategy, you know, might end up looking pretty good at the end. I don't think anybody's excited playing 3 games in 1 week, but that's what you get into with the Big 12 tournament sometimes as well. So it just kind of happens a week earlier.